It has been 655 days since Halo Infinite was released. I just want to share real briefly in the next couple minutes my opinion on where Infinite is at, what I enjoy about it, what I don't like about it, and what I think the future will be. So bear with me. As always, feel free. Let me know how you feel. Share your thoughts. Give me your take in the comments below. I am very interested to see if maybe I'm just kind of crazy or what. The good. Let's start with the positive. The good. Here we go. Content. Infinite has content now. That's fantastic. It has maps, battle passes, game modes, customization. There's actually stuff to do. I love how you can go back and do old battle passes because that just gives it more content. So I'm going through and I'm like, oh, I'll select this battle pass. I'll do this battle pass. Oh, there's a piece of armor I might want. Let me get that battle pass. And so that's great. It feels like there's stuff to unlock. It feels like there's actually something to work towards. There's actually something to grind for that didn't exist before. I went through my battle pass in a month last time, and then there was nothing left to do. And so that's great. Should it have launched this way? Yeah, probably. Does it feel good to actually be able to pick your color? Yeah, I'd say so. And so I think that's good. There's lots more you can do. Another upside, I like how the audio sounds. And what I mean by that, like the guns, they sound good. The sniper, it hits hard. The sound design on the weapons, I mean, this stuff sounds cool. I think it's up there in, some of the great sound effects for Halo guns. I mean, you compare that to Halo CE Anniversary, which those anniversary sound effects in Halo CE are atrocious. I mean, those things are so bad, it's insane. I can never play that with those sound effects on. It's so bad. So I would say that is one positive thing as well. There's a lot more playlists. That's good. There's a lot more you can do. I would say there's probably 3 playlists that I enjoy. One is the heavies playlist, and it feels like a normal big team battle. Doubles, social doubles. I think that's decently fun. Half of the maps are terrible. Just awful maps. You're just constantly falling off, or they're just terribly designed. And half of them are pretty good. But team doubles is has been fun. And then squad battle is probably the beam of light in the shroud of darkness. No pun intended. Squad battle is great. It just feels good, and the maps are really good. Leave it to the community to fix the game, but we'll get to that later. The maps are good, and squad battle just feels the closest to Halo that I've gotten. Forge custom games. I went into the custom games browser, and I was surprised at how much fun I had jumping around and jumping between different games and maps. And again, the community is crushing, and they found a lot of fun game types and fun, cool things you can do. And Forge has 100% just bolstered the maps, and where 343 literally just had basically tons of 3-lane drab boring maps, the community has really come through and completely just blown it open, completely. And there's actually levels with varying degrees of elevation, which is a big feature of Halo games. And so the maps are great, and that's all thanks to Forge. Graphics. Hey, I think the graphics are pretty good. I'm playing on Xbox Series X, and I've when I'm looking at my Spartan and customizing, I'm like, man, these graphics do look good. So props to them. You know, the game looks good.
The double.
Now,
Body armor.
let's talk about the bad. And some of these are big things, some of these are small things. But I will tell you, it's the details that add up. If there's a bunch of little small things, they add up to a big thing. And a lot of the small things just compound on each other and make it feel bad, make it less fun. And so these are my things, these are my opinions. You don't have to take it as gospel, fact, truth, or whatever. This is just my perspective after playing every Halo game for the last 20 years, and this is where I'm landing after 655 days. So, the first thing, and I think it's really obvious, I don't think most people would argue with this, the game feels flimsy. Like, I have only played this last week, and I've had it crash many times on me. Just crashing. Crash. It's just crashing. Whether you're in theater mode, whether you're playing a game, it just crashes. I don't know what causes it. I don't know why. I think it just gets overloaded and it crashes. I can't think of a single time in ever, at any moment, ever, at any time, when I had a Halo 1, 2, or 3 game crash on me. Just freeze, and then boot me back to the menu. And maybe I'm just wearing rose-colored glasses to look at the past, but those games were sturdy. Those games had like a strong foundation. And I just feel like through my controller, I feel like I'm playing just a flimsy game that could just crumple to pieces at any moment. The crashes, the netcode just doesn't, like, I don't know what's wrong with it. This isn't my area of expertise, but it doesn't feel good. You can tell when a game is like the netcode is strong and when it's not. I don't know what to put it on other than like crashes and just how it feels, but Infinite feels like it could fall apart at any second, and that's a problem. And so the crashes are a big problem, and the theater is glitched to all get out. Like, it's like it doesn't handle well. It crashes. And the biggest problem I have is I feel cheated a lot when I'm playing this game. And what I mean by that is it comes back to this idea of the netcode. You know, playing Halo for 20 years, you know how the game plays, and you can tell straight away when someone is really good, and you can tell instantly when someone's really bad. You can take one little look at, their strafe, at how they hit their shots, and the most important thing, the decisions they make while playing. Are they using cover? Are they getting good positioning? Like, what are the choices they're making in game? And that'll tell you very quickly if they're really good at this game. And I can't help but just feel cheated so often in this game when I die. And what I mean by that is there's so many times where, just janky things will happen. I'll die completely around a corner. I'll get a guy completely one shot. He's blinking and he'll chase me, and I'll throw a grenade at my feet, because he's chasing me around the corner, and I turn around and I just watch it blow up under his feet while he's blinking shields, and he doesn't die. Stuff like that. You can only feel cheated so many times before you're like, why am I doing this? I'm getting killed around corners, and I understand, there's latency, I could be fighting someone on the East Coast and this is what happens and blah blah blah, but it's but I've been playing FPS games for 20 years, and why is it this game that I always feel like I'm getting cheated out of, like, deaths and kills? Oh, it's because the netcode is bad. Because they don't have it dialed in. And so even like, you know, Halo 1, 2, 3, they figured this out. Yeah, I get there's going to be times where, you know, you're using cover and you're shooting another guy who's using cover, and like he kills you right when you're strafing around the corner and it looks like, oh man, I was behind there. How did he kill me? I'm not talking about that. What I'm talking about is I am like running out of a fight and I get fully around the corner, around the wall, and then my player drops dead. This is a common thing. So it's just they don't have that together and you feel like you're getting cheated. And maybe I am absolutely crazy, but in no other, not even Halo 4 or 5 did I have this feeling. This Halo game is the first time I've ever felt this. And so let me know if I'm crazy, because I just feel like, yeah, it just, like, I'm getting just cheated out of, like, stuff all the time, and I never feel good. And I've, like, shot at guys, and then they've gone around corners and died, and I'm like, bro, what are we doing? And before we, like, look, I'm playing on NA West. I got, like, freaking 1,000 up, 1,000 down. I got a great connection. My ping hovers between like 20 to 30 every single game. So it just rubs me the wrong way, and I don't like it. The weapons in the sandbox, a lot of them feel useless. There's only a few weapons that are actually really useful, and you want to get those. If I ever pick up any other weapon than like sniper, rockets, battle rifle, or shock rifle, it's because it's kind of the only weapons available. The sword is okay, still not great. It's okay, it's not great. But there's no reason to grab them. Maybe the needler too, but again, that only works at a specific range. And so if you're not in that range, good luck. We'll get to that later. And so that leaves me, it's like, well, I guess I'll only play with these weapons. And I don't know. I think the weapons could be better. I think they could be balanced better. Some of them just feel useless. Like, why is this even here? Like, why? Just take it out of the game because no one's using it. Halo 3, best game of all time. Yeah. I would agree. So I want to talk about the balance, the weapons. It feels wonky. It feels like it's almost there, but it's not. So for instance, I was playing Rat Race the other day. Not Rat Race. What's it called? Rat's Nest. And something doesn't sit right with me when a warthog comes around the corner with a gunner and a driver, and I have rockets, and they don't even see me, and they're standing still, and I shoot a rocket, and it just T-bones them, just boom, boom, rocket straight to the driver's side, and nothing happens. Their warthog gets damaged. I think their shields break, but they don't die. It takes 2 rockets to destroy a warthog. The guy's in it. And I'm just like, what are we doing? Like, what are we even talking about at that point? It's gonna take 2 rockets to destroy a warthog? Now I could see a tank, because a tank is a tank. But you're better off just firing 4 sniper shots and hoping you hit one of them. Because 2 rockets is ridiculous. There's just no way. And don't even ask about grenades. Throw like 4 grenades on those things and it might do something. So it feels wonky. I took a cindershot. I was playing big team heavies. I took a cindershot and there's a guy in a tank. No lie, on everything I love, I unloaded every single shot of that cindershot. Direct hit into the tank. Direct hit. Like I was bouncing it off off the ground right in front of it, just boom, boom, every shot blowing up on this tank. And I think there's maybe like 12 rounds in a cindershot, something like that. It's not a ton, but it's a few. Blew them all up, and nothing. The tank barely looked damaged. And I thought to myself, well, I'm never picking up that gun again. Nope, not gonna do it. It can't even, like, it's supposed to be a power weapon. It shows up on the ground as a power weapon, and it's useless against tanks. Completely useless. Crazy. That's crazy to me. So the balance just feels off. And so there's the weapon side of it, and part of it is they're all balanced around range instead of skill. And Faven talks about this in his brilliant video, Halo Infinite Disappointment 6 years in the making, or whatever. But basically, to break it down, the weapons in Halo Infinite are balanced around range and not skill. So every gun in the sandbox has a range where it wins those fights. But the problem is not all guns require the same amount of skill, right? So a BR is a precision weapon. It's a lot harder to use than an AR. So essentially, there's no advantage to being good with a skill-based gun, because the moment you step out of the gun's intended range, you lose the fight, right? And so in games past, you would run around with a BR as your skill weapon, because no matter what, if you were good enough with that BR, you could take someone out, even at a closer range. So easy to use guns in Halo Infinite are beating out harder to use guns, and there's not really any room to outskill opponents. All my life playing Halo, and one of the reasons I love it, and one of the reasons I like it, because it's not like Call of Duty. Because in Call of Duty, you run around, and if you get caught off guard, you're dead. That's it, full stop. You have no chance to whip around and kill someone, unless they're like really atrocious, really bad. But for the most part, if someone rolls around behind you, you're dead. It's over. It's done. It's, But what I always loved about Halo is there was that little skill gap where you had shields and someone had to four-shot you. And if you were good enough, you could whip around and you could four-shot them. Because if they didn't have their four-shot down, and say it takes them 5 shots to kill you, that's where their skill is at. They get 1 shot on you, you whip around, you can 4-shot them before they get their 5th shot off. That skill gap does not exist in Halo Infinite. All the guns have an intended range, and they win fights at that intended range. So there's no point in running around with a skill-based weapon like a BR, because you're not going to win fights. And you see this. You see this all the time. Over the last week, I've been playing tons of hours of Infinite, and it's full of people crouching around and abusing the AR range. That's like just what you do. You just do that. And I don't like that kind of gameplay. That's just not what I'm into. And so I don't like how the weapons are balanced. It's not good right now, in my opinion. And I don't think that's ever going to change. I think that's like a philosophy thing in how they see it. So I don't have a lot of hope for that, but it is not my preference. And so that's another kind of hard pill to swallow when I'm the kind of person who wants to run around with the high skill weapon and try and get better at that. But when you cannot win because it's not the intended range for that fight, it just feels cheap. And I'm not saying, obviously, you can win fights at close range with the BR against an AR. It does happen. But 9 times out of 10, if I'm running towards a room where it's going to be close quarters, I'm not going to leave my BR out. I'm going to switch to the AR because that's the intended range and that's where it's most powerful and will win fights.
The double.
So
Body armor.
I don't like
Two
that.
quick ones.
I
know
think
I'm getting
that
there on the
harder
perfect
weapons, if you are skilled with them, you should get greater rewards. That's all I'm saying. So, Halo Infinite's weapons, not great. Last but not least, last couple things we'll finish up. UI is still atrocious. Dude, it's so ridiculous trying to get into a game with a friend. Like, you can't even see. There's like a little thing in the corner, and then you're like, are you in? Are you not in? I think I'm in. Oh, wait, I didn't get in. The UI is so atrocious, and just swapping between playlists and game, like, it is so annoying, and it's not simple and clear and easy. UI, I can't stand it. I just can't stand it. Levels have crap everywhere, so throwing grenades is annoying. This is turning into like a really big pet peeve of mine, and I think it started maybe around Halo 3, but if you remember Halo 1 and 2, surfaces were mostly flat, and any detail on those surfaces were also flat. Now, every single surface has indents, bumps, fixtures sticking out, dirt, like rock, and all this crap. And so if someone's, if I want to bank a grenade off of a wall at a certain angle, what happens is it hits a piece of this rock and goes flying the opposite direction, or it gets trapped in a little, like, okay, look at this menu screen. This menu screen is a perfect example. Okay, see how there's these giant steel beams everywhere. If I wanted to throw a grenade there, there's a chance that it might hit the top of one of those steel beams, or the inside corner of a steel beam, or the like, getting grenades to just bounce how you want them is nearly impossible because they don't have flat surfaces. There's just like crap everywhere. And sometimes, like yesterday, I had a cindershot blow up in my face because I went to bank it off of the ground, and it hit a piece of grapple equipment that was sitting on the ground, and it had like this much of a face that came up off the ground. I watched it bounce off of the cindershot and fire, or bounce off of the grapple and fire right back in my face. And I just thought to myself, like, what are we doing? Like, what are we actually doing? This is so ridiculous. And so throwing grenades, which is a big part of this game, is actually just like annoying because it never does what you want it to do. And I know how to throw grenades. I've been throwing grenades for 20 years. Like, I know how to do this. I know how to play this. But the problem is there's crap everywhere, and indents and rocks and dirt and beams and pipes and lights. And so everything just bounces off of everything, and it drives me crazy. Last but not least, and I think this is the nail in the coffin, the skill-based matchmaking in social. It really just kills all the vibes. Just kills all the vibes. Yesterday, I was in a game, and there was a guy on the other team who was crushing. He was doing so well. And he dropped, like, it was a heavies land grab or whatever, and he dropped like 50 kills. I mean, he was just having a field day. Not with me, but with our team. And I was the only one actually killing him. Anyways, we're playing, and my teammates were terrible. I mean, they were just like running out and giving him free kills. Just whatever, I don't really care. But then, the very next game, not only did we get matched up against him again, right? Which is absurd. In the entire population in the playlist, it matches us up against the same guy. Don't ask me how that happens. But then, it put all the bad teammates on his team. And it didn't matter how many kills he got, he still lost, even though he was the better player. And this skill-based matchmaking, where you're basically guaranteed to go 50-50 every single time, where it's going to fix you up to lose or it's going to fix you up to win one way or another is complete garbage. It's just absolutely complete garbage. And it kills the game. And in social, like skill-based matchmaking and social Slayer is the most stupidest thing in the world. Social games should have none of that, period. Competitive, we can talk about. Social Slayer, social big team, screw that. Take it off. It's stupid. There's just no reason for it. In summary, to finish, the best things in Halo Infinite right now are mostly all because of the Halo community. And yeah, 343, help provide the tools or whatever. But the reality is everything that I find fun and enjoyable about the game now is just because the community did it and made it happen. So that's kind of telling. What's the future of Halo? Is Halo Infinite the future of Halo? I don't know. I don't think it has a strong enough foundation. I don't think 343's vision is what Halo needs. I don't think that they can carry it through. It's like trying to fit a square peg in a round hole. I don't think it has worked this last decade, and I don't think it's really working now. And the saving grace to all of this has actually just been the Halo community itself. And so this isn't shots at, all the hardworking developers and everyone who, made this game. It's a game a million times better than I could ever make. And it's not about them, but it's about Microsoft and the previous 343 leaders who, they don't know what Halo is. So that's where I'm at. I think I'll play it here and there, but there are some things that really just put a damper on the experience for me personally. And that is what I think about Halo Infinite 655 days later. As always, let me know how you feel. What are your thoughts? What do you think? Am I crazy? Am I not? Are you playing? Will you continue to play? Are you as picky as me? Do you not even care? Are you having fun? Peace.